Hello and welcome if you're new to my channel, and if you're a subscriber, a warm welcome back. Today's video is going to be recommending some of the best luxury men's pajamas in the market, and in particular winter pajamas. I'm Anesu Sagonda and I manage a luxury lifestyle management business in London. My content is largely educationally focused and geared towards people who are typically new to money or keen to explore alternate mid-lux or super brands that are a little under the radar but still heavily weighted on quality. 2020 has been shaped and dominated by a massive global pandemic, which has meant millions of people have had to stay at home, either working, self-isolating, self-shielding, on quarantine, on furlough, whilst we ride out the storm. And in this period, retailers have noted a massive spike in certain items. One of them, apart from toilet paper, being luxury men's pajamas. And that can be attributed to a number of reasons. Firstly, self-care. We're going through a really anxious and very scary time, and it seems only right and it eases the uncertainty by splurging on really nice pajamas. Second reason could be people who typically would dress quite smartly for work, in suits for example, wanting to wear something comparable whilst they work from home, something that still looks and feels just as good as their suits. Third reason could be with Christmas fast approaching. It's a period where you typically splurge on really nice pajamas to lounge in whilst you eat and drink with friends and family over Christmas. But with Christmas potentially being cancelled in a number of countries, with the strict numbers being imposed on group settings, it just makes it a lot easier just to splurge and do extra special, extra nice things during this really difficult period. But before I kick off with my recommendations, I would like to thank Neatsmith for allowing me to shoot in their showroom. I'm in their showroom in Chelsea, and they create bespoke luxury fitted wardrobes. Thank you, Neatsmith. I'm going to be recommending a total of 9 brands, and for ease of recommendation and understanding, I'm going to split them into 3 categories: entry level, mid-tier and top end of the market. But in terms of quality, they're all from the mid-tier and above. My entry level 4 brands, I'm going to kick off with Hamilton and Hare, a British brand which I mentioned briefly last week when I was filming on Chiltern Street. I will attach that video above. Hamilton and Hare are focused on men's underwear and loungewear, and they're very much about getting the perfect fit using premium fabrics. Their pajamas wash and wear incredibly well, and they use sustainably sourced cotton. You can buy their pajamas either directly from their store or online. They don't have any concessions in the high-end department store like most of my recommendations. Their pajamas are priced from between $175 to $180 depending on the style that you go for. I'll be recommending 3 styles. The first style is a short sleeve t-shirt with a little button. Something simple, no fuss. Some people like the short sleeve option, and even with the shorts or the full length bottoms for winter. So I just wanted to provide that versatility. I particularly like these pajamas because of the material they're made from. It's a combination, a blend of cotton and lyocell. And lyocell is a sustainably sourced nanofiber from the eucalyptus tree, and it's softer than silk. And you know when you buy something and it has that softness the first time you wear it, and then you wash it and it just loses that softness progressively over time? But with lyocell, it means those pajamas are always deliciously soft each and every time you wear them, with each wash. And you have that option of the short sleeve, and then the second option is your classic pajama style, so the collar with the long sleeve shirt and the full length bottoms, again with cotton and lyocell. And then the third option is the cotton flannel classic style, but 100% cotton, and it's that typical, what I call the typical pajama look in terms of thick, heavier material. It's really warm for the winter, but I wanted to give you the option. Some people like lighter materials even during winter, so the short-sleeved option, you can have it with the full-length pants or with the knee-length ones, and then your classic pajamas with the flannel, real comfort pajamas. And then my second recommendation is a brand called Derek Rose. Derek Rose, they're available from their concessions in London, online, and they also have 2 standalone stores. And the concessions, they're available from all the high-end luxury department stores, so your Selfridges, Harrods, Harvey Nichols, and so forth. And Derek Rose pajamas are very much focused around the blue color. So it's either light blue all the way through to navy blue, either plain with swirls, with hearts, camouflage, not exclusively, but largely blue pajamas. Two styles: your classic pajama style, the long-sleeved shirt with the collar, or the long-sleeved collarless t-shirt with the matching pants, so depending on what you like. Three types of material. They have 4 types of cotton, and then they have micromodal and also silk. The cotton option, they are priced between 185 and 215, depending on the combination you go for. And the second option, which is your micromodal, 335 pounds. Micromodal is very soft, it's stretchy, it's great for lounging in, and it's also something that's light and breathable for winter. And then the third option is your silk pajamas, which are priced at 625 pounds. Derek Rose, a really competent brand in that entry level, loads of options in terms of the colors, but if you like blue, this is your brand. My third recommendation, British brand Desmond and Dempsey. They don't have any standalone stores. They're available either online or they have concessions in all the high-end department stores, so Liberty's, Phoenix, Harrods, Harvey Nichols, and Selfridges. And what I like is that each store has a different selection, so depending on where you go, you'll always find different pajamas. 100% cotton, and they're very much focused on your vibrant show-stopping designs. Great pajamas for men and also women, and they're the cheapest of all my recommendations. They're priced around 150 to 170 depending on the style you go for. My third recommendation is, in fact, it's fourth. My fourth recommendation is a Swiss brand, but I can't recommend this particular Swiss brand without the other. They're two I always recommend together. They are neck and neck in terms of quality and similar in terms of product range. Talking specifically about the pajamas as they differ on lingerie, for example. Looking at the pajamas, it's a brand called Zimmerli, and I'll also be recommending Hanro, hand in hand. Zimmerli is older than Hanro. It's been around for longer. It's also a little more expensive. Their styles are typically more traditional, minimal fuss, minimal design. There isn't a lot going on, and the colors are a little more muted, and they're a little bit more expensive. Whereas Hanro, it's younger, it's a little more fashionable, it's fun, mix and match. The designs are different. It's cheaper. Pajamas are priced between 130 and 150 pounds, and they also have the combination of cotton pajamas and cotton with lyocell like Hamilton and Hare. Whereas Zimmerli pajamas are priced around 185 pounds, and their silk pajamas are around 400 pounds. Moving on to my mid-tier recommendations, I'll be recommending 2 shirt makers and 1 traditional Savile Row tailor. My first recommendation is a company called Hilditch and Key. Pajamas retail for £295, and they're available to buy either on their online website or in-store on German Street. They're not available in any of the high-end luxury department stores as a concession. And their pajamas are made from the same material they use for their shirts. They have 2 plain colors, white and blue, and then a mixture of either check or stripe styles. One style, the classic long-sleeved collared shirt with the drawstring trousers, and it's 2-ply Egyptian cotton, so it's durable and incredibly soft. They also have the option of the nightshirt, and nightshirts are something that is not very common. You typically find them either from the shirt makers or the traditional Savile Row tailors, and they tend to be worn by the older gentleman, somebody who's 60 and above, for example, and they're great for convalescing or staying in a hospital, and they can be worn either with boxer shorts or nothing underneath. They're a fairly decent length, so you have that option just for maneuverability and also for comfort. My second brand is a brand I absolutely love. I have a lot of experience with them. They also do women's pajamas as well, which are absolutely fantastic. It's a brand called Turnbull and Asser. They're a company with a royal warrant, and I will attach the video above where I gave the definition of a royal warrant and its significance in terms of just the quality and consistency of a brand. Turnbull and Asser are great for their shirts. They have a wide selection of materials, and I've also used them for things like monogrammed handkerchiefs. Absolutely amazing. Similar to Hilditch and Key, £295 in price, but they also use the same material they use for their shirts, for their pajamas. They have about 4 styles of pajama. They have 4 types of cotton for their pajamas, but one style. There's the Egyptian cotton. Egyptian cotton is the highest in terms of quality for cotton. Then they have the Sea Island, and then they also have the 2-fold, 200 thread count pajamas, which are just exquisite in terms of deliciously soft. And they also have a combination of cotton with cashmere, so it's quite a thick typical winter pajama. It's 85% cotton and 15% cashmere. Start at £295 for Egyptian cotton, £495 for Sea Island, and then they are £695 for the 2-fold 200 thread count pajamas. They also do women's pajamas in the Egyptian cotton, and they're priced at £500. They come in a beautiful hand-sewn case with the colour on the bottom, and they're great as presents, they're great as a splurge item, but there's something that sell fantastically well for Turnbull and Asser generally, but during this period, sales have literally gone through the roof. Imagine a scenario where you have the 2-fold 200 thread count pajamas. They're very soft, they're lightweight, they're cool, and you're lying under the best duvet you can get in the whole world, the eider down. It's light, it's soft, it's very warm. I mean, to me, that is literally heaven on earth. They also have the nightshirt combination, nightshirt option for you as well. My third recommendation is a traditional Savile Row tailor, and their pajamas are very much inspired by traditional Savile Row tailoring. It's a brand called Anderson and Shepard. Pajamas retail for £365. They have 4 colors, so 2 plain colors, if I remember correctly, blue and grey, and then 2 styles. They have the option of cotton, and they also have cotton with cashmere, so cashmerello, similar to Turnbull and Asser. Theirs is a lighter cashmerello. It's 93% cotton, 7% cashmere. And their shirts are very much, or pajamas are very much inspired by traditional Savile Row tailoring. They have the wide-fitting shirt with the breast pocket and then 2 side pockets. And then they have the full-length pants with half elasticated waist at the back. And the front has 2 buttons and zip buttons down the fly. Derek Rose has a similar style. Derek Rose has more options though. They are either a plain shirt, or they have the 1 pocket, the 1 breast pocket, or they have the 1 breast pocket with the 3. So a cheaper option, similar to Anderson and Shepard. And then moving on to my top tier recommendations. I have 2 brands in the top tier. My first brand is a rarefied British brand. Just to give you an idea of their standing, they are the premier supplier to the scholars and masters of Eton College, and they in the past have supplied formal attire for Princes Charles, William and Harry, so you're in very good company with them. They are renowned for their Englishness. Their pajamas, the material, the color, the textures, the styles couldn't be any more English. And I'm not so much for their cotton pajamas. Their cotton come with poplin and priced at £275. I'd be more inclined to recommend the shirt makers like Turnbull and Asser, for example, for your cotton pajamas. But I highly recommend their dressing gowns, their silk dressing gowns. They are absolutely show-stopping. They're incredibly distinguished, very dignified. They're for your typical discerning gentleman in terms of their heavy silk, the colors, they're vibrant, they stand out, very well put together. I mean, imagine a scenario where you have a board meeting at the weekend, a surprise meeting, and you just happen to get a call and you have your shareholders and board members. They wouldn't balk if they saw you in the dressing gown. It can also be dressed up as they've done on the model, but it's something that just gives you that air of confidence, makes you look very suave and smooth, well put together, well made, heavy, solid, beautifully colored silk gown. And they retail at between £1,250 going through to £2,500. I'd also recommend as well for the top end their silk pajamas, which retail at around £400, and they're largely dragon inspired designs. And then my top brand, this is an absolute showstopper and deserving of being in this top category. It's a brand called Meng. Their pajamas are amazing for both men and women, and they're all silk, a very lightweight silk. Their silk designs are unique, created by talented artists they work with. They're produced here in the United Kingdom, and it's very much a fusion of Eastern heritage meets contemporary design in terms of the styles, in terms of the colors, and they're unique. So you're not going to see the same design repeated over the years. Once it's done, it's gone. Pyjamas start at £700 for a set. And then you have the dressing gown option, which I also highly recommend, again for men or women, and they start at about £1,000 going up. The silk is very light, very different to new and Lingwood. It's light, it's flowy, and you can mix and match. So you have the plain silk top with the colored bottom, or the other way around. Whatever you like, you can wear it at home, in bed, you can wear it going out to a party, just depending on what you like, but absolutely beautiful in terms of the design. And Meng sell all their pieces as wearable pieces of artwork, which they literally and deservedly are. So that's two brands at the top, Meng and New and Lingwood. Very different types of silk. Silk is expensive, and it's worthy, particularly if it's very good quality like these two brands. It's cool for the summer. It's very warm in the winter once you get past that initial coldness when you put it on. But these brands confidently hold up the top end of the market. I've given you an incredibly diverse selection of brands. Pyjamas are something I highly recommend. They're fun things to wear, especially now you want comfort, you want something that feels and looks good. And pyjamas can be something where you open the door and somebody isn't caught off guard, like, oh my goodness, they're in undergarments and they don't know where to look. But with pyjamas, you don't need a dressing gown. It's very dignified, very well put together. Great selection of brands, which I hope you like, as I've tried to incorporate an incredibly diverse selection in terms of colors and styles. As always, if you have any further questions, do let me know in the comments down below. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.